Here's a phenomenon that's more universal than terrible airport food and more addictive than late-night TikTok rabbit holes. We're talking about phone addiction, the modern plague that's turned grown adults into thumb-scrolling zombies who can't make it through a dinner without checking their notifications 17 times. You know you've got it bad when you reach for your phone before your morning coffee, when you take selfies in bathroom mirrors like you're documenting some kind of scientific expedition, and when you genuinely panic if your battery drops below 50%. It's gotten so ridiculous that people are treating their phones like life support systems, clutching them tighter than a lifeline during a hurricane. But here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Breaking this digital dependency isn't some impossible mission that requires a PhD in willpower or a monastery retreat in the mountains. It's actually pretty straightforward once you understand the mechanics behind why your brain treats that glowing rectangle like it's dispensing pure dopamine straight into your bloodstream. The real problem isn't that phones are evil. They're incredible pieces of technology that can do everything from ordering pizza to video calling your grandmother in another country. The issue is that tech companies have figured out exactly how to hijack your attention span and keep you glued to that screen like your life depends on it. They've turned notification sounds into digital slot machines, and every ping is designed to make you feel like you're missing out on something earth-shattering. Think about it this way. Your phone buzzes and your brain immediately assumes it's something urgent. Maybe it's your boss, maybe it's breaking news, maybe someone finally liked that photo you posted 3 hours ago. But 99% of the time, it's just another email about a sale you don't care about, or a social media platform desperately trying to drag you back into their ecosystem. This constant state of alert has turned us into digital Pavlovian dogs, salivating every time we hear that familiar chime. We've trained our brains to associate phone usage with instant gratification, and now we're stuck in this endless loop of reaching for our devices whenever we feel even the slightest bit bored, anxious, or uncomfortable. The statistics paint a pretty grim picture of just how deep this rabbit hole goes. More than half of Americans openly admit they're addicted to their phones, and that's just the people honest enough to acknowledge it. The rest are probably too busy scrolling through social media to answer survey questions about their scrolling habits. What's even more concerning is how this addiction is rewiring our brains in real time. We're losing the ability to sit with our thoughts, to be present in conversations, to enjoy a sunset without immediately reaching for our cameras, to document it for strangers on the internet. We've become so accustomed to constant stimulation that silence and stillness feel uncomfortable, almost foreign. But here's where things get interesting, and this is the part that should give you hope. Your brain is remarkably adaptable, which means the same neuroplasticity that got you hooked on endless scrolling can work in reverse. You can literally retrain your neural pathways to crave real-world experiences over digital distractions. The key is understanding that phone addiction isn't a character flaw or a sign of weakness. It's a completely predictable response to systems specifically designed to capture and monetize your attention. Once you recognize that you're not fighting against your own lack of discipline but against billion-dollar algorithms engineered by some of the smartest people on the planet, the whole game changes. Breaking free doesn't require superhuman willpower or throwing your phone into the ocean dramatically like you're the protagonist in some inspirational movie. It requires strategy, understanding how your brain works, and implementing simple systems that make it easier to choose intentional phone use over mindless consumption. The beauty of these methods is that they work with your psychology instead of against it. Instead of relying on pure discipline, which inevitably fails when you're tired or stressed, you're creating an environment that naturally guides you toward healthier habits. You're essentially hacking the same behavioral triggers that got you addicted in the first place, but redirecting them toward outcomes that actually serve your life goals. Most people approach this problem completely backwards. They try to quit cold turkey, delete all their apps in a moment of inspiration, and then wonder why they're back to their old habits within a week. That's like trying to lose weight by throwing out all your food and hoping willpower will sustain you indefinitely. It's not sustainable and it's not necessary. The real solution lies in understanding the specific mechanisms that keep you trapped and then systematically dismantling them one by one. It's about creating friction where you want less behavior and removing friction where you want more behavior. It's about recognizing your personal triggers and designing your environment to support the person you want to become rather than the habits you want to break. The first step is turning off notifications, and this isn't some gentle suggestion from your friendly neighborhood wellness guru. This is warfare against the attention economy, and notifications are the enemy's primary weapon. Every buzz, ping, and flash is a calculated assault on your focus, designed to yank you out of whatever meaningful thing you were doing and drag you back into the digital feeding frenzy. Think of notifications as tiny digital terrorists that have taken your peace of mind hostage. They don't care if you're in the middle of an important conversation, trying to focus on work, or finally getting some quality sleep. They're programmed to interrupt, disrupt, and hijack your attention at the worst possible moments. The solution is brutal in its simplicity. Go into your settings and turn off everything except calls and text. Yes, everything. That Instagram notification about someone liking your 3-day-old photo of your breakfast can wait. The news alert about some celebrity drama that will be forgotten by next Tuesday isn't worth destroying your concentration. Your brain will thank you for giving it permission to exist without constant digital interruption. Next, you need to establish phone-free zones and times, because your relationship with technology needs boundaries like any other relationship. Create sacred spaces where your phone isn't welcome. Make your bedroom a device-free sanctuary where actual rest can happen instead of 3-hour scrolling sessions that leave you feeling like you've been hit by a truck. Implement a morning routine that doesn't involve immediately checking what happened in the digital world while you were unconscious for 8 hours. The internet will survive without your immediate attention, and starting your day by consuming other people's thoughts instead of organizing your own is like eating dessert for breakfast. It might feel good in the moment, but it sets you up for a crash later. Charge your phone across the room instead of next to your bed. This simple change forces you to make a conscious decision every time you want to check it. When your phone is within arm's reach, picking it up becomes as automatic as breathing. When it's across the room, you have to physically get up and walk over, giving your brain time to ask whether this is actually necessary or just another mindless impulse. Buy an actual alarm clock for $10 instead of using your phone. This eliminates the justification for having your device next to your bed and prevents that immediate morning dive into the digital chaos. You don't need your phone to wake up, and you definitely don't need to start every day by checking how many people validated your existence through likes and comments while you slept. Use app blocking software that actually works, not the built-in screen time limits that are about as effective as asking a sugar addict to guard the candy store. These third-party apps create real barriers between you and your most problematic apps, forcing you to confront your impulses instead of mindlessly giving in to them. The key is making phone usage intentional instead of automatic. Every time you reach for your device, pause and ask yourself what you're trying to accomplish. Are you looking for specific information, trying to contact someone, or just feeding the addiction? Most of the time, you'll realize you don't actually have a reason, which makes it easier to put the phone down and do something more meaningful with your time. Replace phone habits with real-world activities that provide genuine satisfaction instead of empty digital calories. When you feel the urge to scroll, do 10 push-ups instead. When you want to check social media, call a friend and have an actual conversation. When you're bored, read a book, take a walk, or learn a skill that will still matter 5 years from now. The goal isn't to become a digital hermit who lives off the grid like some kind of modern-day caveman. The goal is to transform your phone from a master you serve into a tool you control. You want to use technology to enhance your life instead of letting it consume your life. To choose engagement over addiction, intention over impulse. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't require perfect execution. You're going to slip up, check your phone mindlessly, and fall back into old patterns sometimes. That's normal and expected. The difference between success and failure isn't avoiding all mistakes, but getting better at recognizing them and course-correcting faster each time. So there you have it. Breaking phone addiction isn't about becoming some kind of digital monk who communicates exclusively through smoke signals and carrier pigeons. It's about recognizing that your attention is the most valuable currency you own, and right now you're giving it away for free to companies that see you as nothing more than a walking data point with a credit card. The strategies we've covered aren't revolutionary rocket science or ancient mystical wisdom. They're just practical ways to reclaim control over your own brain. Turn off notifications, create boundaries, make your phone less accessible, and replace mindless scrolling with activities that actually add value to your life. It's that simple, and it could be difficult, but that's just on you. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody talks about. Every minute you spend staring at your phone is a minute you're not living your actual life. You're not building relationships, pursuing goals, or creating memories worth remembering. You're just consuming an endless stream of content designed to keep you hungry for more. But the good news is that once you break free from this digital treadmill, you'll remember what it feels like to be present, focused, and genuinely engaged with the world around you. Your attention span will improve, your anxiety will decrease, and you'll actually start enjoying experiences instead of just documenting them for social media approval. The choice is yours. You can keep letting algorithms decide how you spend your time, or you can take back control and start living intentionally. Your future self will thank you for making the right decision today, but please come back for more and watch my stuff. You can leave notification on for my channel though.